Good morning, everybody. I'm coming to you from the scare floor at Monsters, Inc. Hey, what are you doing in my video? Well, hey, Mike. We're trying to learn here. You want to come with us? You want them to come with us? Do you want them to learn with us? Maybe you could teach them a thing or two about number bonds and about addition and subtraction. Here we go. Do you remember what this is called? Hopefully you said a number bond. Now, let's review about what these pieces of the number bond mean. Do you remember what the bottom two pieces are called? The parts. Good job. And do you remember what the top of the number bond is called? The whole or the total. So you put two parts together to make your whole. So let's use this to figure out different ways to make a whole. Let's say you have 3 as a part and 5 as a part. You would put them together and use your lines to go up to make your whole. Think of what it could be. With this number bond, we can say 3 plus 5 equals 8. Is there another addition sentence you could use with this number bond? Think about our properties. Think about which property talks about moving the order of the parts, but getting the same whole. Do you remember what property that is? Commutative. Awesome job. So instead of saying 3 plus 5 equals 8, we could also say 5 plus 3 equals 8. Now let's talk about turning this into subtraction. Do you think in subtraction we need to start with a part or a whole? Think about what we do when we subtract. Are we adding two parts together? Or are we taking a part away from a whole? When we talk about number bonds, I like to go around and trace them with my finger. That kind of helps me figure out my equation from my number bond. So if we said that subtraction is starting with the whole, where is the whole on the number bond? Right there. So our subtraction equations are going to start with 8. Now if I take my finger and I trace my number bond, I can go this way. I can say 8 minus 3 equals 5. Or I can go the other way and say 8 minus 5 equals 3. Now, you will want to check yourself on that. So see if your parts, when added together, make that whole. When you have 4 equations, such as these, you've made a fact family. So today we're going to be practicing when given a number bond, how to create a fact family for that number bond. So we just used the parts 3 and 5 to make 8, but do you think there are other parts that could make up 8? Turn and talk to your partner. If you don't have a partner, talk to an imaginary partner. Hey monsters, do you think that there is another way to make 8 with different parts? My partner's writing something on her clipboard. Let's see what she has to say. So my monster friend told me that there was another way I could make 8. She said I could try 2 and 6. Now you might have gotten 2 different parts, and that's okay because there are many different ways to make a whole. And that's something I'd like you to practice this week. on the numbers 1 through 10, find different ways to add up to make those numbers. So let's go ahead and make our fact family with 2, 6, and 8. Remember, if we're adding, are we putting two parts together, or are we taking a part away from a whole? We're adding two parts together. So first I can take my finger, I can say 2 plus 6 equals 8. I can go backwards from that, flip-flop, which is what property? The commutative property. So 6 plus 2 equals 8. Then I'm switching into subtraction. So think about what we start with in subtraction. We start with our whole. So 8 minus 2 equals 6. And I can go backwards and say 8 minus 6 equals 2. All right, so now here's your homework. Hey guys, we are getting ready to do our challenge. So if you'll keep watching, you will see the instructions for your challenge. It's going to be 4 problems where you are going to draw a number bond for each and plug those numbers into that number bond. You're figuring out which ones are parts and what comes together to make the whole. So remember, at the beginning of the year we did part, whole, ninja. So after you plug them into your number bond, you are going to make a fact family for those number bonds. Now remember, a fact family has how many equations? 4. So you are going to be writing your fact family for those, and I hope you really enjoy it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alrighty, here is your challenge. I've given you 4 problems with 3 different numbers that you can plug into your number bond. So for each of these, you'll want to draw a number bond and plug your numbers into it. And then you'll have to figure out which ones are the parts and which one belongs as the whole. And then here's just kind of a frame of what your fact family for each one will look like. And then down here, if you'd like to extend this, you can also practice on IXL math, and those numbers J1, J2, J3, and J4 are skills on IXL math that go with what we're working on today. And if you want to, you can extend this as well into higher numbers. This week we're working on 1 through 10, but if you'd like to create number bonds and fact families with higher numbers, you sure can. So I hope you have fun with this challenge, and we'll see you tomorrow.